Carl, congratulations. You've made it into the BetVictor Weber Cup for a fifth consecutive year. How does that feel?
Wow, 5 consecutive years. It's crazy to think back the first time I got picked and the honor I felt to represent USA and now, we've had some great memories and I'm really blessed to be able to represent the team again and, come defend the cup.
It's a weird time that we're living in at the moment with the COVID pandemic. How's life in lockdown for you in North Carolina been treating you?
Life's been well. It's been quite calm, quite quiet. Not really doing too much, but it's been giving me time to take a little step back from bowling for a little while and then work on myself. As best as I could mentally and physically during all this downtime. It's starting to open back up a little bit in certain states, so I've been able to do some bowling. We did have a PBA event last month as well, so we're starting to get back on the lanes. My game's starting to feel pretty good again.
Yeah, your game seemed like it was in a good place before the pandemic hit. You won a PBA Tour event with Jesper Svensson, doubles event in Indianapolis. Do you feel like your game was in a good place before the lockdown kind of hit us all?
I feel like it was bowling probably the best of my career. Not only did I win with Jesper again, I won a singles event about a month before that. And, I had never won two titles in 1 year. I felt like everything was clicking. Physically it's been there for a while, but the mental side of it is where I feel like I was really starting to excel and being able to handle the moments of the PBA Tour really well. So that's kind of what I've been trying to work on here as we get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, it's five PBA Tour titles you've got to your name now. Are you feel like you're going to sort of keep that momentum going and push on and try and get to double figures as soon as possible?
Oh, definitely. I got to deal with Jesper every day. Every day.
He's on
Now
10,
he's
isn't
got
he?
10.
Yeah.
He's got me doubled now, so I got some work to do. But the first goal is to get past my father at 8 titles, and then it'll be to try and catch Jesper because that might be a little more difficult because he's still bowling.
Yeah, exactly. I bet he lets you know about that every day. We love the rivalry and banter that you guys have when you're on the lane in the Weber Cup. You're such close friends. Is it something that you enjoy? Is it difficult putting that friendship aside and turning it into a rivalry? Because we all remember the words that you guys exchanged on the lane a couple of years ago when you guys were mic'd up, and we really enjoyed that. But is that something that you relish, or is it quite hard to separate?
So we've been friends for quite a while, but I think that was 2 years. 2 years ago, I believe, was whenever we had the little mic battle. And honestly, back then we weren't really like the best of friends. We hung out, we talked, but we've traveled together for a year and a half now. I spent New Year's in Sweden, so he's like my best friend. But you best believe I'm going to be ready to give it to him, anytime I can on the lane because we're friends, but we know whenever we have our bowling shoes on, we're out to eat.
Yeah, we love that rivalry you guys have. I actually spoke to Jesper a couple of days ago, and he had some strong words about your rivalry. He was quick to cite that he has quite an impressive singles record over you in the Weber Cup. And is that something that you think about when you get onto the lane, that he has got that edge over you, or is it a level playing field when it's a new Weber Cup?
Well, I always think it's a level playing field. I do know that he's got my number in the Weber Cup a little bit, which, I can't say too much. The only thing I can say is my team's better because we've carried the last two cups out of the Weber Cup. So, singles can only get you so far. But, it's time. I think it's time I get my piece, on that lane in front of the crowd in Europe for Jesper one time.
I suppose the one thing that you have got over him, you won that MVP title the year we introduced it in 2018. Is that something that you've got your eyes on, as well as obviously the three-peat? You guys are, on a bit of a roll as Team USA go.
Honestly, the MVP is probably one of the last things that I think about. It's a team event. It takes a team effort to win the Weber Cup. That was something that we were trying to put together the first couple of years that I was out there, and now we've started to build a core group. Adding some good players along the way every year. And so, we're just going for the cup. And, if we win that, obviously somebody on the team is going to get the MVP, which in the end, I believe that's just another win for USA.
Let's take a look at your team now. Obviously, the teams have been out for a little while. EJ Tackett and Bill O'Neill come back into the fold for Team USA this year. What will they bring to the team that's been different to previous Weber Cups?
So I think, well, first off, EJ has been wanting redemption from his one appearance of the Weber Cup a few years back. So I think we're going to get a lot of hunger out of EJ, and he is probably the second best bowler in the world. Some people would argue right now. So obviously the talent speaks for itself, but I think the hunger that we're going to get out of EJ is really going to, drive the team. And then obviously Bill O'Neill, I don't know because I wasn't around when Bill bowled the Weber Cup, but I heard it didn't go so hot. So I think both guys they're hungry. They want to come out on that lane and really establish themselves and maybe put on a better performance. So I think those two guys with the hunger they have and the chemistry. EJ's around my age, so we can relate in a lot of ways. And Bill, with the experience he brings to the team, I think that's going to go right along with Barnes captaining the team and just going to help the chemistry and move us forward.
2020 is a special year for the BetVictor Weber Cup. We've gone back to the 5-man team. Do you think that move will benefit USA or Europe, or is that something that doesn't really affect you guys when it comes to it?
I've thought about it a little bit. I still feel like it would probably give the advantage to Team USA. No hats off or no jabs at the guys that were added on, but I just feel like the extra player that we were able to add on over Europe might give us a little bit of an advantage. Just because we have 5 guys now instead of 4. We've been putting a beating on them the last couple of times, and we get to bring in one of the best bowlers in the world and add to the team. And so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to add a different feel for it because now, at least in the Baker games, everybody's going to get their 2 frames and it's just going to make it even more interesting and more possibilities.
It seems like from what we've seen in the Weber Cup anyway, you have quite a close relationship with Captain Chris Barnes. Have you spoke to him much in lockdown since you've been selected, and what's it like working underneath him as a captain?
Yeah, so I would say I talk to people about Chris Barnes and stuff when I'm on the road, and I would say our friendship and relationship has grown a lot in the last few years. I've always known Chris, and I've always been the young guy on tour, but being able to compete together in this event and Team USA as well has kind of bonded us in a way, and we've had some good matches on television as well. So all of it works together, and I couldn't ask for a better captain. I know whenever he was selected to be the captain that first year that I was competing with him, I was really excited to get to gather the experience from him and the amount of knowledge he has and experience that he has went through. I'm trying to just suck any of it from him that I can, gather it all, store it up in the brain. And he's been a great captain, a great leader, and really looking forward to getting back out and kicking it with him on the lanes.
The BetVictor Weber Cup returns to European soil this year. You were the MVP the last time it was here. Do you thrive in that more hostile environment with more of the crowd rooting for a European win?
I love it. I love the banter, and even from the crowd, knowing that they don't want us to win, and it's kind of like a goal of mine to try and make more friends. They're all rooting for Europe, but I want to put on a show and I want to try and turn them a little bit. So it's a little extra challenge for me personally, just to give a little back to the crowd too, because they're really good at being able to take the jabs and throw them out at the players. So, I really enjoy that between the players and the crowd. And it's going to be a challenge because, we are coming back to Europe soil, but, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Well, you certainly do put on a show for the Weber Cup fans. Kyle, do you have any words for the fans and what they can expect from you in Team USA this October?
I mean, fans, we're going to bring the heat. The hair, I have not cut it. It's a little small, but don't worry. The fro is going to be full effect. We're going to be picking it out. And, we're going to bring some excitement. Team USA, we're a 2-time champ, going for 3. So we're going to bring some flair. We're going to bring the heat on the lanes. And I hope the fans are ready to have Europe's back this year.
Well, it's great to hear, Kyle. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us, and we'll see you in October for the BetVictor Weber Cup.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.